For 15 seconds.
The gentleman yields.
Thank you for that brief response on my part. Those funds are fungible, and that's not a true prohibition. It will be used for taxpayer-funded abortions, and I yield back.
And I thank my friend. I think the language is about as clear as it could be. And with that, when it says none of the federal funds appropriated. But I will now yield to my friend from the District of Columbia, Ms. Norton.
The gentlewoman is recognized for 4 minutes.
Well, I thank the gentleman for yielding, and I thank him for making the clarification before I could. Let me tell you something about fungible funds. You go home and tell the folks in your county or in your city that the funds that come from the federal government are fungible with their local funds, and therefore we should have jurisdiction over what they do in your local jurisdiction, and they may put you out of the house. The fact is that the committee was at pains to respect the difference between local and federal issues, and I very much appreciate that they did. I'm surprised that Mr. Stupak would come to the floor without looking at the bill to work up people on a controversial issue that we ask only be left in our control in so much as it is left in the control of other Americans. And throughout the United States, pursuant to Supreme Court decision in Roe versus Wade, local jurisdictions may use local funds for abortions for poor women. We are American citizens, and we demand to be treated as American citizens. We are older American citizens than some of you because we were created with the nation itself more than 200 years ago. And I appreciate that our Rules Committee appreciated our citizenship and responded to and respected it. Now, this, for those who are new, they may say, well, why is the D.C. appropriation in the financial services bill? Well, the proper question is, why are you having anything to do with a D.C. budget, a local budget? It is none of your affair. And it is an anomaly that we're going to cure soon. But the fact is that it is here under the Home Rule Act, which made the District of Columbia a self-governing jurisdiction. It's in financial services because there's no place to put it. There's no place to put it because it doesn't belong in a federal budget, because it's not the money of the people of the United States. These are the funds of the people who live in the District of Columbia. The members, some members made mistake, others deliberately come to the floor to try to impose their will on their choices, the choices of their citizens, on citizens of another jurisdiction. They wouldn't stand for that for 1 second in their own jurisdiction, whether on abortion or on any other issue. We saw the deadly effects that can occur, and I appreciate that Mrs. Serrano removed from the D.C. appropriation an attachment that was responsible for the death and for the terrible health of thousands of D.C. residents when we were barred from doing a needle exchange program that thousands of jurisdictions are able to do. We're not going to stand for it. It's not your business to deal with the health of my citizens or to keep us from doing things to keep them healthy. Local control is older than the nation itself. The war slogan, no taxation without representation, meant to England as it means in the district when you see it on the license plates: take your hands off of the local jurisdiction that is not your own. This is the D.C. budget before you. It contains funds raised. May I have another minute?
The gentlewoman.
Speaker, I'd like to inquire as to the amount of time on each side.
He has 14 and a half. The gentleman from Colorado has 14 and a half minutes remaining. And the gentleman from Texas has 14 3/4 minutes remaining.
I yield the gentlewoman.
The gentleman yields. The gentlewoman from the District of Columbia is recognized for 1 minute.
I thank the I thank the gentleman for his generosity.